Hi Nana. We will start a new lesson known as metallurgy. The next lesson. Okay. So here we will deal about the metals, extraction of metals. Okay, and all those things we will learn. So we will start this lesson with the introduction to metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals. What are metals and non-metals? What are metals and non-metals? So metals and non-metals are the elements. They are elements. Metals and non-metals, they are what? They are elements. Then what is element? What is an element then? Element is the smallest particle of matter. It is the smallest particle of matter which cannot be cannot be further subdivided. Okay, which cannot be further subdivided into simplest particles. Which cannot be further subdivided into simplest particles. Okay. So that means what is element? Element is nothing but the smallest particle of matter. And that smallest particle, so it cannot be further subdivided. That means itself is the smallest and it cannot be further subdivided. Okay. So it cannot made into still smaller particles. By any means. By any means. Any means. Means, what is the meaning of any means? That means by either physical process, by either physical means, or by chemical means. Physically or chemically, we cannot subdivide, or else we cannot further subdivide these elements. Elements itself are the smallest part. So simply, this element can also be said that the basic building blocks of matter. Basic building blocks of matter. What is the meaning of basic building blocks of matter? For example, if you take a wall, so the wall is made up of bricks. So bricks are said to be basic building blocks of that wall. In the same way, the basic building blocks of matter, any matter, whatever the matter you may take. For example, if you take a chalk piece, so if you take a piece of chalk, then it is made up of elements. What are the elements present in it? Calcium, carbon, oxygen, hydrogens, etc. If you take a piece of glass, again, see chalk piece or piece of glass or else any material, so it is nothing but matter. So it is made up of elements. For example, take glass. A piece of glass is made up of what? So many elements like sodium, silicon, oxygen, okay, aluminum, like this. Okay, so like this, the glass is made up of. So in this way, so that means glass is a matter, chalk piece is a matter, wood is matter. It is made up of so many elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, okay, sulfur, nitrogen, etc. So like this. So whatever the form of matter it may be. Okay, so matter is always It is made up of some building blocks, and those building blocks are said to be elements. Element is nothing but a basic building blocks of matter, and it cannot be further divided. So itself is the smallest particle, and it cannot be further subdivided into simple particles, simplest particles. Okay, by any means, either by physical method or else by chemical method. See, this matter, it may exist as mixtures, compounds, or else in solid form or liquid form or else gaseous form. So like this. Okay, whatever the type of matter, whatever the form of matter you may take, so that matter is made up of what? Small building blocks called as elements. Altogether, there are how many elements? There are 118 elements. So far, scientists have discovered 118 elements. Okay, so these elements can be broadly classified into three types. These elements can be broadly classified into three types or four types. Okay, metals, metalloids, non-metals, and inert gases. Okay, so generally, so now we are separating the inert gases from the non-metals, but in the earlier days, so non-metals and inert gases together were treated as non-metals, but now we have separated the inert gases from non-metals. Okay, so altogether there are 118 elements. So out of all these elements, so metals, they are nearly 80% of the elements are metals. Okay, so next to metals are non-metals. Okay, and after non-metals, so the number of elements more are in inert gases, and after that metalloids. So like this. So in this, metals and non-metals are most important. Okay, so and all are important only. All are important, but we will discuss about metals and non-metals in this topic. Okay, so we will introduce the metals and non-metals. We will learn about the metals and non-metals. So both metals and non-metals are nothing but what? Elements only. Okay, so what are metals actually? So if I discuss briefly about metals, except metals are the elements which can form positive charged ions. They form positive charged ions. So that means all elements which form positive charged ions are metals, except hydrogen. Because hydrogen also can form positive charged ions, but hydrogen is a non-metal. So all elements which can form positive charged ions are metals except hydrogen. So non-metals, if you speak, all elements which form negative charged ions are non-metals. All elements which form negative charged ions are non-metals except hydrogen. Okay, which form? They form negative charged ions except hydrogen, because hydrogen is a non-metal, but still it forms a positive charged ions. Okay, so non-metal, all non-metals, they form negative charged ions except hydrogen. Hydrogen form positive charged ions, like this. So metals, they form basic oxides. They form basic oxides. Non-metals, they form acidic oxides or neutral oxides. Acidic or neutral oxides they form. They form either acidic or neutral oxides. So like this, we can discuss some of the points regarding metals and non-metals. Okay, see, one thing is metals will lose electrons to form positive charged ions from their valency shell. All metal atoms, they lose electrons from their valency shell to form positive charged ions. Okay, all all metals, and all non-metals, they gain electrons. They will try to get electrons, one or more electrons into their valence shell. Okay, so why do metals lose electrons and why do non-metals gain electrons? Metals, either metals or else non-metals, simply they either they either lose electrons or gain electrons in order to get stability. Metals lose electrons to get stability, and non-metals gain electrons to get stability. Okay, so we will learn all these things. Okay, we will learn the differences between metals and non-metals first. Okay, what are the basic difference between metals and non-metals? Differences between metals and non-metals. Differences between metals and non-metals. See, these differences can be studied under two categories. One is physical differences. One is physical differences and another one is chemical differences. Physical differences and another one is chemical differences. So under physical differences, we will learn about the physical state, okay, hardness, luster, okay, density, melting point, boiling point, malleability, ductility, tensile strength, conductivity, so alloy formation, solubility, and all these things we will learn under physical difference. Okay, under chemical difference, we learn how the electrons are arranged, how the valence electrons are arranged, and how these how metals, they either lose electrons or gain electrons. Okay, how are their actions, either oxidation action or else reduction action, and non-metals also either oxidation, either they are oxidizing agents or reducing agents. So, and what is the fate of metals and non-metals when they undergo electrolysis, and all those things we learn under the topic chemical differences, and nature of oxides also, nature of oxides, nature of chlorides, nature of hydrates, okay, and also their reaction with the acids. All these things we will learn under chemical differences. So first of all, we will start with the physical differences. First of all, we will start with our physical differences. Okay, so physical differences between metals and non-metals. So under physical differences, we will learn the differences. For here, metals and non-metals, metals and non-metals. So the first point is the physical state. Generally, if you speak about the physical states of metals, okay, metals are generally solids at room temperature. Generally, they are solids at room temperature. RT means room temperature. They are solids at room temperature. Okay, they volatile only at high temperature. Okay, so that means they volatile. They undergo volatile. That means they convert into vapor. So they volatile at a high temperature, high temperatures. But at room temperature, they are generally solids. They undergo volatile at a high temperature. Okay. Except even for this also there is an exception. Except except what? Mercury. Except mercury, because mercury is liquid at room temperature. Generally all metals are solids at room temperature, but mercury is liquid at a room temperature. Okay, and even mercury is volatile. It is volatile at low temperatures. What is the meaning of volatile? Converting into vapor. Okay, so it's said to be upon heating, so that material will convert into vapor. Such property is said to be volatile property. So generally metals they are volatile at high temperatures. Okay, but mercury is a metal, but still it volatile at low temperature, at a fairly low temperature. That means very low temperature only. At very low temperature only. Fairly low temperature means a very low temperature. So the metal this mercury can be vaporized. Okay, vaporize. Volatile means vaporize. Volatile means vaporize. That means it can vaporize. Which one? Mercury can vaporize at low temperature. If you speak about the physical states of non-metal, generally non-metals are gases. Non-metals are generally they are gases or liquids. Gases or liquids. Suppose some of the non-metals they are solids, and that too those solids are not hard solids, they are brittle solids. They are brittle solids. If any non-metal is a solid, then it is a brittle solid, not a very hot solid. What is the meaning of brittle solid? So brittle solid is nothing but the solid which can be broken easily by applying small force only. That solid will break down into particles, or else break down into pieces. Okay, and these non-metals are okay. These non-metals they are volatile. They are volatile at low temperatures. They are volatile at low temperatures. That means they vaporize. They become vapor at a low temperature. Metals they are volatile at high temperatures, whereas non-metals they are volatile at a fairly low temperature. At fairly that means very low. At a fairly means very low temperature. Okay. So here for these also, for non-metals generally this volatile, some non-metals they require high temperatures in order to turn into vapor. For example, carbon, silicon, boron. Okay, boron they vaporize at very high temperature. Vaporize at they vaporize at very high temperatures. But all other non-metals they are volatile, or else they convert into vapor at a fairly low temperature. So this is the first basic difference between the metals and non-metals. That means the physical difference. The next difference is hardness. If you speak about the hardness, metals are generally hard. So metals are generally hard. Metals are generally hard, but there are exceptions. Sodium, metals like sodium, okay, potassium are very soft. They are very soft. They are very soft, and even these metals they can be cut with knife. They can be cut with a knife. So that much soft these metals are. Sodium and potassium are very soft and can be easily cut with a knife. Even metals like magnesium gold, like metals like magnesium and gold, okay, they are not that much hard. So they are not very hard, not very hard. Okay, so magnesium and gold, metals like magnesium, gold, etc. There are certain metals, so which are not very hard. Generally metals are hard, but still there are some exceptions. So like sodium, potassium, they can be cut even with knife also. So that means they are very soft. These two metals are very soft, and there are some other metals so which are not very hard. So like magnesium, gold, etc. Magnesium, gold. So these two mainly, particularly these magnesium and gold. Magnesium and gold, they are somewhat hard, not very hard. Okay. Next, if you speak about the hardness of non-metals, so if you speak about the hardness of non-metals, non-metals are generally soft. Non-metals are soft. They are soft. Okay, and even for this also there is an exception. Even there are exceptions for this for this nature, soft nature. See diamond if you take the hardest naturally occurring substance. So diamond is what? Diamond is hardest naturally natural. It is not a synthetic material. Diamond is hardest naturally naturally occurring substance. Okay, diamond is hardest so out of all naturally occurring substances. So diamond is the hardest substance. What is diamond? Diamond is an allotrope of carbon. It is carbon exists in different physical forms. So diamond is one of the physical form of carbon. So all the physical forms are said to be allotropes. So diamond is an allotrope. An allotrope of carbon. Graphite is also another allotrope of carbon. Gas carbon, coal, coke, okay, etc. So these are all, even charcoal, and so many types of charcoals are there. So all these are what? Different allotropes of carbon. So diamond is one of the allotrope of carbon. Okay, so this diamond actually, though it is a carbon though it is a non-metal, but still this carbon in the form of diamond, it is a hardest material. Okay, generally non-metals are soft, but diamond though it is a non-metal, it is hardest substance. So like this, the hardness is one another physical property. So now if you speak about the luster. What is luster? Luster means shining property. Shining property. Luster is nothing but shining property. See, metals, when any metal is freshly cut, what happens? The cut surface, it shines. Okay, it shines brilliantly. So brilliant shine occurs over the cut surface, and this property, okay, is called as metallic luster. Okay, that property is called as metallic luster. Metallic. Okay. That means the shining property over the cut surface is said to be metallic lusters. See, metals can be because they are lustrous. Hence, metals are said to be lustrous. Lustrous. That means having shining surface. Shining surface. Hence, they are said to be lustrous. They can be polished easily. Okay, they can be highly polished. So metals can be highly polished. Highly polished. When any material is highly polished, then it show what? Shining surface. Okay, highly polished. Any highly polished material will have shining surface. Okay, generally non-metals have no luster, non-lustrous. They are said to be non-lustrous. They have no luster. Okay, even for this also, iodine. If you take iodine, so iodine crystals they shine. Okay, even graphite also shine. Hence, these are exceptions. Exception for non-lustrous, because though iodine and graphite they are non-metals, but still they have shining surfaces. Okay, hence iodine and graphite can stand as exception for lustrous nature of non-metals. Okay, right, because non-metals are non-lustrous. They do not have shining surface. Metals have shining surface. The freshly cut surface of metal will shine brilliantly. Okay, so like this. So now the next property is density. If you see the density of the metals and non-metals, so metals are generally denser. Okay, generally they have high density. Density, if you speak, metals have high density. They possess high density. Whereas non-metals they have low density. They have low density. Okay, and here there are exceptions for density. Exceptions. What are the exceptions of density? Sodium. Again, sodium and potassium. They float on water. Sodium and potassium they float on water. That means they are less denser than water. Okay. So their density is less than water. Even calcium and magnesium, they float on water. Float on water. That means their density is less than water. And even calcium, magnesium, so they are also not that much denser. They are not that much denser. Okay. So even calcium and magnesium have low density. Low density. But the density of sodium and potassium is very less, and their density is less than water also. Even their density the density of sodium and potassium is very less, and it is less than even water also. Okay, so like this. And if you speak about the density of non-metals, they are low dense. The non-metals possess low density, but still here there is an exception. Exception for density. So what is that? Diamond is as heavy as aluminum. Diamond, it is a denser material. Diamond is denser. It is denser. So diamond, it is denser. It is as heavy as aluminum. Diamond is as heavy as aluminum metal. Okay. So like this, we can discuss about the property density. If you speak about the melting points and boiling points of metals and non-metals, melting points and boiling points. Metals, non-metals. Melting points and boiling points. if you speak the melting points and boiling points, metals generally have high melting points. The metals have generally have high melting points and boiling points because metals in metals generally the packing is like that. But here also there are exceptions. Except sodium and potassium. Here also sodium, the same. Sodium and potassium, okay, have low boiling points and low melting points. Have low melting point and boiling point. Generally, metals have high melting point and boiling point, but sodium, the metals like sodium and potassium, they have low melting point and low boiling point. And non-metals, if you speak, they have low melting points and boiling points, and melting point and boiling point. And for them also there are exceptions. What are the exceptions? Carbon, silicon, boron. Carbon, silicon, and boron, though they are non-metals, okay, though they are non-metals, they have high melting and boiling points. Carbon, okay, silicon, boron, they have high melting point and boiling points. Okay, so like this we can discuss about the differences. So we will learn about some more differences in the next video. Okay, right.